Good morning everyone, and welcome back to the channel if you have been following on since the good old LandCruiser days. It's definitely been a while since we did a video on the Cruiser, but it's great because at the end of this year, we're going away to Tassie for about a month in December, so let me know if you are down that way, you want to link up. I thought it'd be good to get a few videos out before then, and today I want to show you what I believe is the best performing Android head unit on the market at the moment. So can you believe it's been 3 years since we upgraded the stock head unit to the JOYING 10.1, and now we have an upgrade 3 years later. It's another JOYING 10.1, and I think this is the most refined product out there, and I really like it and how it integrates in the Cruiser. So yeah, let's get into it. I don't even remember the last time we did a video of the Cruiser on the driveway, and I realized that you guys much prefer the build videos than the trip videos. Maybe I'm just not entertaining enough. Anyways, this is the Cruiser. Give you guys a quick look at it. It's been my daily driver for the last year, absolute workhorse. And most of the mods I've done are around extending range and just towing mods. So I've now had the ARB parabolic spring airbag combo for about 1.5 years. That's been great. Got the long range tank, got the tow pro in as well. A couple of things which I think you guys might be interested in. Done a bit of minor mods in the canopy, and I'd like to show you because it looks really good. And yeah, stick around for that if you want to see more Cruiser content. So what you're here to see, the head unit. So I'll just quickly boot it up. Yeah, so here is the new 10.1, and I'm so happy with it. And I want to quickly give you a look at it before we move on with the video. So my first favorite thing about this is now having that physical button panel at the bottom here. So I'll just turn on the parker light, and I've got the light set to match the lights there on the cluster, and also, you know, on the steering wheel illumination. So yeah, love this head unit. The biggest thing being the button panel here. Now we have the home button setup. Got the back button, got the physical volume knob, the radio button, so I can turn that on, it'll activate the antenna. Got the map button as well now, so I don't really want to show you where I live, so I'm going to zoom out a bit. But yeah, I live in Australia, and everything is so smooth, it moves very nicely. Everything's so customizable as well, being an Android head unit. So a couple of months ago, I'd seen that JOYING released the 10.1 with the physical button, so I contacted them and they sent me this head unit out for free. So full disclosure, I didn't pay a cent for this head unit, so thank you, JOYING. But I have had a solid relationship with them for the past 14 years. So 2011, I bought my first head unit, and I've had 6 since that I've paid for. Every single head unit has been a step up from the last. So it's good to see a company continue to develop their products, and it's no different with this JOYING head unit. I've been very happy with the past couple units I've had. Seen a couple people in the comments saying that because I'm Chinese, I push a Chinese made product, but I actually don't care if it's made in Australia or it's made in China. If it's good and it works, I will run that product and I'll stand by it. Something which works really well in the 70 series dash is that this screen is now a lot more adjustable. So we can adjust the height of it a lot easier. And if you've seen the way I've done it to the old head unit, a lot of people were having to modify the screen to get it to sit a bit higher. So no problems with this new model. My plan is to pull this out. We're gonna head on over to the bench. I've still got my old head unit, it works perfectly fine, and I'll show you the differences between them both. Alright, I've got the head units hooked up side by side. We have the 2022 model here on the left, 2025 model on the right, and it's hooked up to a standard battery, 12 volt, with 2 harnesses in the back there. Now, just off the bat, you can see immediately, and you can only notice this side by side, but you can see the color grading on the 2025 model is a lot more vibrant. There's a bit more contrast in the screen, whereas the 2022 model, you can see it's a bit more blown out, it's a bit more overexposed. But yeah, so that's just an interesting observation. I didn't realize this until I had them side by side. I definitely prefer the look of the newer display. But yeah, just on the 2022 model, it served me so well for the last couple of years, no issues with it. You can see it's been well used. I mean, it's been parked in the sun a lot, the car. So you can see how the powder coating on the head unit here is just kind of faded. It's gone into this bronzish kind of gold finish. It doesn't look too bad actually, but on the newer model they have gone with a gloss black paint. So yeah, hoping to see how long this lasts. It's a nice look. You can actually get these in a double din or a single din, but if you elect to get the single din unit, it does mean that you can mount something, you have more space underneath the head unit to mount something like a GME transmitter or whatever. So I've gone with a single din for this head unit, and as far as I know the internals are the same. So you can see there's a lot more space under here. You can put, yeah, you can fit a lot more there. Just while we're here as well, you can also see that the new JOYING has an inbuilt fan. One of the things you're going to notice with this newer head unit, and I'm not sure about their other models, is that the fan can be noisy, and there's a good reason for that. It's trying to keep the CPU cool, and I'm guessing that the Snapdragon CPUs do use a bit more power. So going into fan control, you have the option of adjusting the fan speed. You can also adjust when the fan control starts to kick in. And this doesn't allow you to override their own functions. It just allows you a bit more control over that fan. And you can have this potentially up a bit higher as well if you're playing a bit of music. You'll see that temperature come down, and that's the kind of adjustability that I really like about these kind of head units. All right, so there are a couple of tests I want to run, but let's just first of all have a look at how they respond to touch, and just have a look at the frequency between them both. So let's just flip up and down to the menus, and you guys can see which one's a bit smoother. We're going to flip over to the side. It's definitely a bit smoother on the new one. Let's open the maps at the same time. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so pretty much on par with speed. Let's open YouTube. 1, 2, 3. Oh, about the same again. So let's play this together. 1, 2, 3. Play. All right, you be the judge of that. They're both pretty good. I am going to say that the 2025 model does appear to have better frame rates per second. It's a bit smoother, the image, and both are on the same network at the moment as well. So there's no issues with the connection on the internet. I'd say the 2025 model, the colors do look better. Hope I don't get demonetized for that. Another test I want to do is to simulate the key on and key off, so you know how this will kind of react in a car. So I'm going to turn these both off, and I've set this one to a 2-second delay, so when I turn the car off, it'll stay on for 2 seconds. You can adjust this how you like, but I thought it's just a nice function. All right, I'm going to turn it on now. That one fires up straight away. There's a bit of a lag on this one. We'll try that again. Off and on. That one just, the 2025 model is just a lot quicker for those startups. So for the last 5 minutes, you've heard me raving on about the newer 10.1, but let's not forget that this is a 2022 model, the older one, and it's actually not much off in terms of performance to the newer head unit. Now, little things that we've already noticed so far. The color grading is nicer, I think, in the 2025 model. The screen brightness is brighter in the older model. This 2025 model has a louder fan. This one is dead quiet. The new one has a smoother display. It's got better frame rates. The older one seems to be slightly laggy when transitioning between apps. And that's just things we can see when they are side by side. But when it's installed in the car, you really don't notice these things too clearly. The last thing I want to show you, and probably one of the things I didn't like too much about the old unit, is the font sizes of the logos. I'm going to bring this out a little bit, because this is kind of where your head's going to be when you are viewing the screen and you're trying to focus on the road. Now, let's just swipe up on both of the units to the app drawer, and you can just see on the newer head unit how these icons and also the fonts are so much bigger than the old unit. So you can just imagine when you're driving, trying to concentrate, and you're looking at the head unit, you can't really read what's going on because the font sizes are so small. That's not something you can control through something like an aftermarket launcher. Let's go to Google Maps. Now, on Google Maps, just the same. You can see how the search bar, The menu bar, you can also see the tabs here are a lot more larger on this new display. And I just think those kind of changes that JOYING have made this so much more refined and a lot more usable as a head unit. So by comparing these in front of you side by side, I hope this shows the kind of improvements they've made to the newer model. It's improved the usability, the functionality, and I reckon aesthetically, I reckon the new one looks better too. But I know that people are going to still be interested in the one without buttons, so I'll throw up the links for both in the description. Make sure you go and check them out, and if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. The next part of this video, I want to do a step-by-step install for you guys so that you guys can know exactly how to fit it in your car using plug-and-play harnesses. Now, for those who already have the 2022 model or other Android head units, I'm not sure, but most of these are interchangeable. This is going to be a direct swap. So all you need to do is really unplug the old head unit and plug in the new head unit. Everything should plug right up for you, but if this is a fresh install, I'm going to go and show you what you're going to need on the bench. For the majority of installations, this is what you're going to use out of the box from JOYING. So because it's a universal kit, it does come with quite a few different brackets, but these parts you see in front of you is what you're going to use. So it comes with, of course, the computer part of it. It's a single DIN one, and you can see here I've already installed the 5G Wi-Fi antenna that just sits on the back here. You can fit this wherever you want. This is just where I wanted it, and plug this into the back, so it just screws into that terminal there. On the front here, you'll see there is a provision for a SIM card, so you can put a SIM card in there, just a 4G SIM. So this unit will have internet access wherever it goes, and you can also put a micro SD card here. You also get the cage, which houses this computer with the brackets. So in the kit it comes with a few different brackets, but these are the ones you're going to need. So the left and right side, there's a part number right there, TY-A05, and you can see those holes I've marked out. That's going to go to the factory bracket. Comes with a GPS antenna. I'm just using the one in the car. So you're going to need to install this because apps like Google Maps, Waze, Wikicamps, a lot of different apps will use this, the GPS coordinates. Comes with a microphone, which I've already got installed in the car, and also comes with the 4G antenna if you decide to use a SIM card, which we are not. Comes with the ISO adapter harness, so this plugs into the back of the head unit. This will go to an adapter harness to the car. We'll get to that in a second. And of course comes with that head unit with the legs on the back, which I will show you in a sec. So it does come with all the screws you'll need as well, so make sure you don't lose these because you just have enough. And that's all you need out of the JOYING box. Now, aside from what you're getting from JOYING, you're also going to need a few parts. So from the LandCruiser, the stock head unit, you will need to pull off these brackets. They're the double DIN mounts, which mounts onto, through these 4 holes, it mounts onto the car. You're also going to need a couple adapter harnesses so that this plugs into the car without modifying the factory wiring. So this is an adapter harness. This will go between the car and the ISO connectors of the head unit. You'll also need the antenna adapter, and depending on your setup, now this works for me, I can't promise this will work for you. I have the Polaris GPS reverse camera, but this is a reverse camera adapter as well. So you're going to need those, and I will be stocking everything on the website. I have been stocking this on the website. Now this is a steering wheel control harness, and I've been selling plenty of these. If you were to replace your steering wheel with another Toyota wheel with steering wheel controls, you can get those working with an aftermarket clock spring and this kit, which will allow you to hardwire it in. So this just adapts off the factory connector. It piggybacks there, and then these 4 wires run to the head unit, and you get full steering wheel controls. And yeah, let's put this all together and we can get it installed in the car. You can see I've gone and made a few markings on the brackets. This is a guide for you, so depending on how you want the head unit to sit, how far out you want the screen to be, will depend on how you position the bracket. Next, you're going to install the head unit onto the bracket. So this ribbon cable will go onto the display, and you just thread this through the mount in the middle, and then slide on the head unit into the cage. 2 screws top and bottom. So next you're going to mount this to the factory brackets, and you can see I've made the red markings for the screw holes that you're going to be using. So you can see here, right side, you're going to grab your right side bracket from your Toyota, and then we'll flip this around and repeat on the left side. So the head unit is ready to accept our display, and you can see here there's 4 feet which will line up with these retaining clips, and then you can go and position those feet exactly where you want based on the, I guess, the height of the screen. So if you want the screen to sit lower, you can bring those feet up, but if you want the screen to sit high, and where I've had it on the dash, you can see it kind of lines up just over the top of the 70 series dash like that. Then you want these feet in the highest setting. So it's pretty straightforward. You've got a couple screws, just unscrew those and then you can move the feet around. First I'm going to connect the ribbon cable, and then I can go and push the display onto those clips. Just like that. So this is how the screen sits on the front of the head unit, and this is ready to go into the car. So let's figure out our wiring. I think this is going to be the best way to show you the wiring. It's very straightforward, it just looks a little messy. Now please bear in mind, every car is going to be set up a bit differently. You might have a reverse camera, you might have an amplifier, you might have 360 panoramic cameras, which this does support. But my car just has a reverse camera using the factory speakers. So here we have the ISO harness which connects from the head unit to these ISO adapters, and here is that harness that you're going to need to buy. This will plug into the stock vehicle wiring, no modifications to that. You can see here I've gone and modified this harness to accept our steering wheel control harness. This will run through the dash towards the clock spring on the steering wheel, and this will piggyback and give us the signal for the steering wheel controls. So here you can see I've got the Scotch locks for the ground, the illumination, and you can see there are 2 wires here for steering wheel controls, key 1 and key 2, and this is matched to our brown and pink wires in like that. You have the reverse camera wiring loom. This connects into the yellow RCA on this harness. You also have a wire which goes from the back wire of this harness, which is the orange one. And this little terminal here goes onto one of the connectors in the back of the dash. I'm not going to show you this. This is not a video about the reverse camera, but I'm just showing you my harness. We also have attached to this harness another adapter for the antenna. This plugs into the factory wiring. Very straightforward there. Here we have the GPS antenna if you want to hook that up, and the 5G Wi-Fi antenna, which I've got sitting over there. Here you've got the microphone, and that can go anywhere in the car, wherever you want it, and I'll show you where I've mounted mine. Hope that makes sense. I am going to stock these as a bundle on the website. So you're going to get the adapter harness, you will get the antenna harness and the reverse camera harness, and yeah, I will stock these on the website together, so you will be able to use this on your JOYING head unit harness. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. That's kind of the best way I knew how to explain it. Let's go fit it into the car. We're back in the car. We're going to start connecting the wiring harnesses up. So a couple of these connectors are the stock ones. You've got the stereo harness here. I've got the antenna connector. This one is for my reverse camera. This connector here, I've got it stowed away. This is important. So this here, you'll see there are 2 terminals in there. One of these are for speed and one of these are for the reverse switch. So if you are installing a reverse camera, you're going to get your reverse switch from the green wire. So that is the terminal on the very left side. As you can see, I haven't modified any of the stock wiring. This bundle are the 4 wires coming from our steering wheel control harness. So yeah, everything's gonna just connect up. So we've got our adapter harness here. Click. Put that in. The antenna goes this way. This end of our connector harness will go into the head unit. Then we have that reverse trigger into this green wire. So I'm just going to wedge it in there. So make sure that's snug, you don't want that coming out. Next we're going to install our reverse camera. This is for our steering wheel control harness. So please just disregard these wire colors. This is what I've done when I started doing this years ago. So with everything hooked up, this can be pushed back in there. So I've got the JOYING head unit computer here. We can start connecting everything up. The head unit harness. Then we've got the antenna. Go in here. The microphone. And the GPS. I just finger tighten this. Forgot to show you this, but the JOYING box does include a USB-A extension cable, and it's pretty useful. So just plug that in, and you can leave it hanging there loose for now. So push that back in there. Like that, and on this end you have that extension, USB-A extension cable. Makes it a lot easier so you don't have to reach in the back there and connect a USB. So the two screws on top, these go into a plastic thread. Don't even finger tighten, just have them sitting there snug. The bottom two bolts, you can hand tighten them. First reinstall the fascia plate. Beautiful. Stock looking. Where I put my microphone, I tuck the cable in there, and then I install it in this little corner here with some body tape. Now it's not going anywhere. We can fit up the display. So make sure the ribbon cable clicks in properly. Tuck that in there. And with the feed in, you can just push it in. That's it. Let's just quickly boot her up. Done. How good is that? So you've got the head unit installed, and I would like to give you guys a few tips on how to get it, I guess, set it up for the cruiser. So the first thing, the panel button keypad down here, so you can go in and adjust the color. So I'm going to turn my parker lights on, and you can see the parkers will match. I'm not sure if you guys can see it in the frame, but it does match the stock colors on the dash. So you want to go into settings, and then display, and then colorful lights. Here you can adjust the lights. So if you want to follow these numbers, that'll get you kind of close. On auto, it'll turn on when the parker lights come on, or you can have them always on if you like. With the reverse camera all set up, all wired in, you're going to have to play around with a few settings. So go back to your settings, and under display, go to reverse camera. And what works for me might not work for you, but it should get you there. Under the reverse camera format, I've selected CVBSN. I think that's neutral, but you have a whole range of cameras you can choose from, different formats depending on the type of camera you have. You also want to make sure that the reverse camera power supply is on, so power on when in reverse. Make sure that's selected. So I'm going to go put the car in reverse, and it'll put it straight onto that reverse camera. The most important thing with most aftermarket head units, especially the Android ones, is the interface. So I find a lot of them are just very ugly. And with all my JOYING units, I do install the Nova launcher. So go into your Play Store and go and download this app. So Nova launcher allows you to customize everything, your colors, your app drawer, your home screen, even down to the buttons, how they look, rectangular buttons, circular buttons, that kind of thing. So it's very personal, but I'll leave that to you guys. Once you have that installed, you're going to need to go back to your settings, come to System Applications under Display, and then go down to Theme, and you're going to have to select Nova Launcher. So what I'll do, I'm going to select the stock launcher. I'll show you guys what it looks like. and I am not a fan. They've made a big improvement compared to all the other ones, but still not what I like. Come back to this, I'll show you another one, UI3. UI3 looks like this. Pretty ugly if you ask me. So I usually like to use my Nova launcher. It'll return you back to this home screen. I'm going to go and set my wallpaper back to what I had before. Set wallpaper. Done. Another thing you're going to want to know is how to set your steering wheel control buttons and also how to customize these panel keys. I'm just going to turn that light back on for you guys. Under settings, you want to go to common, and you can come down to the bottom of the menu here and keys and learn. In the key settings, you have the touch key study. Now touch key study will allow us to map out these buttons. So I've got home there, I've got the back button, I've got the music button, so you can either switch that to your music app, which in my case is Spotify, or you can put it on the radio, and your map button, which would be Navi. So we'll go back. Another thing you'll need to adjust if you do have it is the SWC, which is steering wheel control key learning. Come into this menu, you can see I've got everything set up from my steering wheel. So I've got my volume down, volume up, previous, next, navigation key, voice activation key, and the phone key. Another feature which I don't use but my wife does use in her car is the Android Auto phone app. So with Android Auto, with all these units, they're all wireless. So as soon as your car senses that your phone is on and the Bluetooth is there, then it will boot up automatically into into Android Auto if that's how you've set it. So I don't use this, obviously I use my head unit like a head unit, but if you just want to have your Android Auto, this does work pretty well. So the few apps I do use, KO Sports, I do use KO, watch my Formula 1, basketball. I also use Woolly Weather for your weather reports, you know, swell, you know, the local weather, that kind of thing. The Red Arc app is amazing. It looks really good in tablet form, but I can't get it connected to my revision system at the moment. It's just been something I've been trying to do. But you know, you've got so much control here. You've got a lot of data to look at. I'd love to get this working. I haven't really had time to play with that yet. Spotify, Maps, YouTube. I'll just show you the Wikicamps. Wikicamps is something which does become quite useful when you're away. You can also get topographic maps on this as well, although I haven't paid for them. So yeah, this is a great app. So I hope this video has been helpful. This new head unit has been a good upgrade over the last one. And when you do spend the hours and time driving these cars, having a good head unit makes a very big difference. So guys, do me a favor. If you did find this helpful, please consider subscribing. I did want to hit 20K this year, but I just haven't really had much content out there. And you guys subscribing, liking the video, and letting me know really encourages me to make more videos. So yeah. If you have any questions about anything, let me know in the comments, and until the next one, I'll see you then.
Subscribe, please.